Welcome back to another episode of Say What Needs to Be Said. I'm your host, Asante, Mr. Pick Six Samuel, two-time Super Bowl champion, Pro Bowler, all-pro record-breaking cornerback, and the last cornerback to intercept 50 interceptions during the 16-game season. How we doing out there tonight? Thursday night vibes. Man, how are we doing and how are we feeling, man? Another week of football. It feels good this time of the year, to get back to playing football, watching football, seeing football. Watching two teams compete, man, and get very physical out there, man. I know who's playing right now. The San Francisco 49ers and the Los Angeles Chargers going at it right now. Brock Purdy, struggling. Going to need a lot of help over there. Brock Purdy's going to need some help. And, of course, those old guys that they add to the roster isn't going to do it, man. I don't know. How we doing out there, man? Y'all chat. How we doing in the chat? What's up to my soldier, to the GOAT, Joanna in the building, man. Y'all salute. Y'all let me know where y'all chiming in from. Y'all know I like to see where my people's tapping in from, man. But, hey, man, tonight I saw two well-coached football teams competing against each other. I must say, I was surprised. The AFC West, man, the AFC West just got a little more exciting with the addition of the Oakland Raiders and Clint Kubiak. And it's fun to see a good player in Fernando Mendoza selected to a team with a good coaching staff. This new regime for the Los Angeles Raiders is making a difference. And I'm telling you right now, the AFC West is going to be a lot more competitive with the addition or with the new Oakland Raiders, Los Angeles Raiders. I'm sorry, y'all forgive me if I keep saying Oakland Raiders, Los Angeles Raiders, man. Yeah, I'm excited, man. I'm excited. The head coach for the Raiders, Clint Kubiak, Fernando Mendoza, the number 1 overall pick. Man, that is a good combination. I like that combination right there, and they will be fun to watch. Y'all trust me. I know football, and I know good play, good football play at each position, right? And I'm telling you, I see a really good franchise quarterback in Fernando Mendoza. And that's one thing we're going to talk about later on when we have to discuss when we get to the Eagles. A winning quarterback versus a franchise quarterback. What is the difference? And what would you prefer? But as far as the Texans go, man, I think this is a big year loading as well for C.J. Stroud. C.J. Stroud and the Texans, they are long overdue, man. He's been in a funk too long, entirely too long, to be so young and talented, and also have a good coach in Coach head coach DeMeco Ryans. I'm looking for a good, a solid year coming up for C.J. Stroud. And also the Texans defense has been too good for C.J. Stroud not to step up and start to stack those seasons and, start to stack better seasons than he had his rookie season. That's what it's about. You have to progress and get better, man. And we're not seeing that from C.J. Stroud, but the year this is his year. I'm feeling it. As long as he can stay healthy, obviously that's always an issue, And how did Fernando Mendoza play tonight? What do we think about his performance? And of course the pick six is never a good thing, but that's the reason we have preseason games. And I'm hearing people complain about preseason, players. The older they get, like Aaron Rodgers doesn't see a point in preseason games. Yeah, maybe for him. But for other players getting acclimated with the NFL, the speed of the game, the physical attributes that different players possess, taking a hit and understanding how it feels, man, we need these preseason games. Yeah, even a quarterback, But it's never time to panic. Listen, like I said, that pick six, don't panic. If you believe in Fernando Mendoza and you mess with the Las Vegas Raiders, man, there's no time to panic. It's time to get excited, man. The black hole is back. The black hole is back. I'm sorry to say. And like I say, the purpose of the preseason game is to get iron out the wrinkles and correct the mistakes. And that was just the check down play that Fernando Mendoza, it was, he was expecting that guy to be wide open at the check down. The linebackers 2 or 3 yards behind him. And, he wasn't expecting them the Texans to challenge that route. But obviously he's getting familiar with how defense operate in the NFL. So that's an issue that he's going to be able to work on and correct, man, But tonight obviously was a big challenge for Fernando Mendoza playing the number one defense. Man, that is aggressive, well-coached defense. I must say the Texans are, and he definitely will be better. I'm telling you. I'm saying it right now. Y'all share this with everyone. Make sure y'all like, comment, subscribe. Hype me up. Because right now I'm letting y'all know in the AFC West what's about to transpire. Fernando Mendoza will be a better quarterback than Bo Nix. Yes. Let me say it again. Fernando Mendoza will be a better quarterback than Bo Nix. If not his first season and not in his rookie season, definitely by his sophomore season. Yes. Once Fernando Mendoza gets comfortable with the Las Vegas Raiders offense and what Clint Kubiak is trying to do, man. Oh, man, it's going to be awesome out there in the back hole, But it's going to be important for Fernando Mendoza to get comfortable with those players and understand what each player likes and who his go-to players are. But once they get comfortable with each other, it's going to be a nice vibe out there in Las Vegas, But if you watch the game and you understand how to evaluate football, the pressure isn't on Fernando Mendoza per se. Yes, he has his pressures. He's the number one overall pick. He has to deliver. All the pressure is really on Ashton Jeanty. Ashton Jeanty has to show up. The Las Vegas Raiders needs to get him going. If the Raiders can't get more explosive plays out of Ashton Jeanty and Mike Washington starts to get in the rotation, game over for Ashton Jeanty. That's Ashton Jeanty's job right now, is to limit the amount of carries that Mike Washington is going to get. Because once Mike Washington gets rolling, it's trouble. It's trouble for Ashton Jeanty. I've been critical. That's another player I've been critical of. Now, obviously, the Oakland Raiders, the Las Vegas Raiders, they was a sop of crap all over the place. So you really can't fault them. But man, when you're talking about 4.3 speed at the running back position, and a guy that's weighing 230 plus pounds, man. And we seen with Ashton, yeah, he's a strong, smaller, and statue guy. But I don't know if that's necessarily going to work in the NFL, But yeah, that would suck for the Las Vegas Raiders. Jeez, I gotta stop saying Oakland Raiders. I'm so used to saying that. But that would suck for the Las Vegas Raiders, man. Another wasted top 10 pick, top 10 overall selection. Not just for the Raiders, just overall in the NFL. That they could have done something much better with that pick if obviously Ashton Jeanty don't pan out. But hopefully Clint Kubiak, he puts Ashton Jeanty in the same position he did Kenneth Walker out there in Seattle when they just won the Super Bowl, and get Ashton Jeanty rolling, right? But yeah, the NFL is a cruel job, man. And as cruel as it sounds, man, running back comes a dime a dozen. As cool as it sounds. Yeah, the running backs come a dime a dozen. I don't think there's too much of a difference when it comes to running backs. Of course, you have the exception. You got Bijan Robinson, you have Jahmyr Gibbs, and you have Derrick Henry. Obviously, he's a bigger, faster guy. He's going to bruise your defense, wear your defense down, and things like that. So, yeah. But shout out to Fernando Mendoza. He's a Florida boy. Hey, the black hole is back, man. The AFC West just got a little more exciting. Patrick Mahomes and the Kansas City Chiefs, they have something to watch out for. Fernando Mendoza is going to eventually take down the Denver Broncos. Now, the Denver Broncos, they have a ton of talent on defense. They play very well on defense. Things are going to change now. You can't pad your stats against the Oakland Raiders no more, baby, against the Las Vegas Raiders. Shit. Every time I say that, I got to owe somebody a quarter. I ain't going to even say $1, man. Them dollars add up. How we doing out there in chat? So what do y'all think about the Las Vegas Raiders? Do we agree, man? Do we agree? Do y'all think Fernando Mendoza is a franchise quarterback and he will be around for 10 plus years and winning for the Las Vegas Raiders. Can he do it? Does he have what it takes? Man, I seen him anticipating passes, things that we talk about Shadur need to do. That one pass that went right over the linebacker's head. I mean, he had time to let that receiver clear out more and get more open than he actually was to make a safer throw. But he anticipated the ball and put enough leverage on the ball, enough height, and made the perfect throw, man. Those are plays that you like to see from your rookie quarterback. That was exciting play to see for him. Anticipate, get the ball out of his hands, understanding when the pressure is coming. And then, they have some gaps to fill. So we ain't gonna stroke his ego too much. We ain't gonna glaze all over the Las Vegas Raiders too much. But I just like to get out in front of things before anyone else is out there trying to talk. And yeah, they could come steal what we say over here and say what needs to be said, because that's all that be going on, y'all, man. They just wait for what we have to say over here and what we talk about, then they have to go talk about it. But moving on, man, we got Tua Tagovailoa. The Atlanta Falcons. What is going on, man? Hey, and let me tell you, I have to always be straight up, and I have to correct my wrongs, man. I hate being wrong, so I love to correct and get back on the right side of things. So, hey, man, let me correct myself. You see, when I try to give players the benefit of doubt, I get screwed trying to be a nice guy. Sometimes I try to be nice and give people the benefit of the doubt, because I'm very critical. I see things different than a lot of people that's analyzing football, the pundits and whoever else you want to bring into this equation. And let me tell you, I was tripping. I was tripping when I talked about these people in a good way. Yeah, I was tripping when I talked good about these two people. I'm back. I'm back to prove me wrong of what I already know. Because I already know. I can see it. No more Mr. Nice Guy. Tua Tagovailoa to the Falcons is a good fit. The Atlanta Falcons are a good team to look out for this season. Don't be surprised if the Falcons win the NFC South. Lord Jesus, I was tripping. Lord, tripping. I was tripping. But hear me out. Hear me out. This is where I was coming from. This is where my philosophy made sense on paper, right? This is on paper. Hear me out. I was thinking Tua Tagovailoa could execute in Kevin Stefanski's offense a little better than Dylan Gabriel did, which led me to believe this would be a good fit. That's what I was thinking, guys. That's what I was thinking. I think Tua Tagovailoa is a little bit better than Dylan Gabriel. They come up in the same type of offense and things like that. So I thought he would be able to execute and do the Mr. 1, 2, 3 thing in Kevin Stefanski offense and make him a better team. Lord, was I wrong, man. Let me stop trying to be nice. No more Mr. Nice Guy. I was horribly wrong. After what we saw from Tua's first preseason game with the Falcons, Tua is done, man. There's no hope for Tua Tagovailoa. And what I'm about to show you and tell you next makes everything much more worse than it could possibly ever get. And there's two people I've been critical of. Kevin Stefanski and Tua Tagovailoa. Man, this player combination is as bad as it gets, guys. I'm sorry. I was being nice. No more Mr. Nice Guy. This is as bad as it gets in the NFL. The only thing that can save the Atlanta Falcons is Bijan Robinson. Bijan Robinson will need to carry the offense for this team to be a contender in this division. Bijan Robinson, he has most valuable player type talent, potential. He can easily rush for over 2,000 yards with good timing and, a good offense, good offensive line and things like that. Definitely have to feed him the ball. This will be a season where they're overly feeding Bijan Robinson the football. But if the quarterback play is so bad, it would allow the opposing defense to put 8 defenders in the box. And that will make life real tough and real hard for Bijan Robinson. But this is what we can expect with Tua Tagovailoa at quarterback. Hopefully, he doesn't have to be the quarterback. But whoever it is, expect 8 defenders in the box. While appearing on the Dolphins Collective, the Miami Herald's Omar Kelly discussed Tua Tagovailoa's performance during the Atlanta Falcons preseason opener. Kelly said, "I looked at every snap he took in the Atlanta Falcons game. His arm is done." Mr. 123, let me repeat that. He said his arm is done. Meanwhile, Dolphins on SIs, Allen's Papart added, he's basically the same quarterback the Dolphins had the past 2 years. If he gets protection and guys get open, he'll get them the ball. Won't be very far down the football field, but he'll get them the ball. But when things go awry, they're going to have problems. Yes, we already know. They're going to have problems. That's obvious, as we can see. I'm sorry for looking at the paper and thinking things will work out. It's not going to work out. Only positive thing over there is Bijan Robinson. Feed Bijan Robinson, hopefully play action pass will work. And then Michael Penix Jr. hopefully is healthy and he stays healthy. And we don't have to see Tua Tagovailoa. But I don't think the first-year head coach is going to feel comfortable putting Michael Penix Jr. out there. We'll see. We'll see, man. He's 2 guys, that's kind of injury prone. So, no. But I can already see, man. I can already see it. Kevin Stefanski is going to have a pretty hard time coaching in Atlanta. He's going to have a hard time. That community isn't going for that bull crap he pulled out there in Cleveland. The Falcons Nation isn't going for it. And the confidence, right? It's the confidence he shows when he takes the podium, when things are bad. You don't get any reinforcement from Kevin Stefanski. No motivation from any. He's not motivating anyone. He doesn't get anybody excited, hyped up about what's to come. It's like, oh man, here we go again. That's what and I'm not talking about just the players, it's the fans as well. You have to get more than the team excited. You got to get the city riled up and everybody excited. Kevin Stefanski is horrible at that. It is horrible. When he hits the podium, he only leave us confused and wanting to ask more questions. And I'm telling you, Bijan Robinson, get ready to carry the load because Kevin Stefanski has a job to save. And if things don't go right with Bijan Robinson, it's going to be a very, very long season for the Falcons, man. It's going to be a very, very long season for the Falcons. Hey, and let me tell you, you see Omar Kelly talk about Tua Tagovailoa's arm strength. Mr. 123. If Tua's arm is any weaker than it already is, get ready for the shittiest shit show we've ever been a part of. Boy, will be bad. The bad coach and a weaker Tua Tagovailoa arm. Oh man, that will be a hot mess. And I wouldn't be surprised Kevin Stefanski and the team are struggling to get a victory by week 8 against the Cincinnati Bengals. They possibly can get a victory against the Carolina Panthers early on. I think it's the second game of the season. But the Carolina Panthers played pretty good on defense. That's what I don't know. I don't know. So I'd be surprised. I wouldn't be surprised if the Falcons struggling to get a victory by November 8th down, coming up on Thanksgiving. And that's only because they have a hard time stopping the run on defense. And it was pretty good on defense in the past with Raheem Morris. But now, Oh man, and yeah, Cincinnati can't stop the defense as well. That's the issue. Cincinnati can't stop the defense. Cincinnati is horrible in the middle, and they're horrible at stopping the run. So I pick the Atlanta Falcons to have the best chance at getting the victory by November 8th because they're playing the Cincinnati Bengals, and they'll be able to run all up and down the field against them. Hand the football off. You don't have to do much. Tua or Michael Penix. I know everybody is hoping and thinking that Michael Penix Jr. is going to be the starting quarterback, but we have to see, man. He has to get some reps. He got to get going, man. He got a lot to learn and a lot to get comfortable and familiar with. You know, it's going to be a challenge, man. It's going to be a challenge for Tua or Michael Penix Jr., whichever quarterback is back there. It's going to be a challenge for both of these quarterbacks to get comfortable in this offense and start clicking, you know, in this offense. So I don't know. Also, then you can't forget about the other possibilities with these two guys, Tua and Michael Penix, that plagued their careers. So that's always something to keep in the back of your mind, you know. And let me tell you, it's very easy to play defense. I love to play defense against a team that really doesn't go down the field, doesn't throw the football down the field. And it's easy to play defense when your quarterback doesn't pass the football over 15 yards. And that's basically what you're doing when you play against Tua. You don't have to worry about passes over 15 and 20 yards. You can set your body up, put yourself in the right position, and get ready to break on the football. Cornerbacks love it, man. We love it. When there's in the deep threat, we're out there just to have fun. There is nothing that is scaring us when we don't have a deep threat out there against us. That speed, and you got to have an arm to get the speed, to hit the speed, you know. So we don't have to worry about a deep pass. That's what it sounded like with Tua. That arm is shot, you know. And like I said, the Falcons defense is pretty competitive under the old coaching regime. But we have to see if Kevin Stefanski and the new coaching staff can tighten up the middle, get these guys tough, man. And I don't know. We'll see, man. This is to be determined. But I had to come back and backtrack my tweet and my statements, man, because I was looking at paper, man. I'm doing the paper thing. I'm getting caught up in the paper thing. What are y'all predictions of the Atlanta Falcons season coming up this year? Kevin Stefanski as the head coach, either Michael Penix Jr. or Tua Tagovailoa at the quarterback. What are the predictions for the Falcons this season? Right now, I'm gonna go out on a limb and I'll go 2-15. Nah, let me not do that. Let me go 3-15. What do y'all think, man? Is that pretty fair? It's the quarterback situation is horrible. And then you looking at Tua as your possible starter. The draft is until after the season is over. Man, this is looking bad, boy. This is looking bad. This is looking bad. This is how bad it's looking. This is what we can expect. From the Atlanta Falcons and Tua Tagovailoa. Let's start it over. One more time. Run it back. Watch your guy, man. He's running around out there like a chicken with his head cut off, trying to escape to nowhere. Man, you know you don't get the full story during training camp. You try to get as much info or clips as you can to try to decipher your point, man, and get people to see what's going on. But hey, just having a little fun. That really doesn't define Tua and how the Atlanta Falcons offense is going to operate. But hey, practice makes perfect. I'm a big believer in you practice how you play, man. And that was just one clip. But I'm the one that named Tua Mr. 1, 2, 3. So I know all about Tua and I've been studying. We're going to see, man. We're going to see. Just having a little fun, man. I know Tua is tired of me, man. Y'all know Tua out there. Y'all send him some positive energy for me, man. And tell him just collect that money and be happy. But hey, now we got to move on to the Philadelphia Eagles. Jalen Hurts, what's happening out there, man? And things aren't going so good or looking so good for the Philadelphia Eagles and our guy, Mr. Jalen Hurts. And the expectations for this season, I don't know, they're kind of all over the place. And what to expect from Jalen Hurts this season? It's people wasn't too excited about the first round draft pick. You have half asking them what were they doing, and the other half like, okay, Makai Lemon is a dog. He's a great player. He's going to fit in well, right? Then you have Jalen Hurts, the X factor. How is he going? What is he going to do this season? What type of season is this going to be for Jalen Hurts? It's a pivotal season for Jalen Hurts this season. And we've seen he can be a winner. He is a winner. He's proven that. But now can he show that he's a franchise quarterback? And when I mean franchise quarterback, consistently winning for 10 plus years. He's a winning quarterback, but is he a franchise quarterback, right? And I think this season will prove that. And he has the ability and chance to shut up a lot of critics who's been on him, right? Because not too many people is comfortable with Jalen Hurts' style and how he operates and how he keeps the chain moving, right? Now we got reports coming from training camp saying he's been, he hasn't really been top on his game like he should. Yeah, against the New England Patriots in the joint practice, he's turning over the football. That's the number one thing we don't want to see from our quarterback. We don't want to see our quarterback turning over the football, right? And we're seeing a lot of interceptions during this training camp. And I don't know, man. We don't want to look too deep into these things. Like I said, I'm a guy that believes in you practice how you play. And I'm wondering, could this be a sign of what's to come for the Philadelphia Eagles this season? Will Jalen Hurts be able to overcome and outperform the expectations that everyone has for him? And we have to wait and see. And we're bringing this up, and I want to have a conversation about Jalen Hurts and the future, of the Philadelphia Eagles, because Howie Roseman is the general manager. Howie Roseman, he doesn't get attached to any player. Any player is expendable. No one player is bigger than the program when it comes to Howie Roseman and making the Philadelphia Eagles a better team. He's always looking forward how to improve his team. And once he sees an inkling of decline from any of his players, now he starts to see what his options are when it comes down to that player, right? Now, we can't exclude all the possibilities when it comes to Jalen Hurts. Because if Howie and Nick Sirianni agree that Jalen Hurts isn't their man for the future, it is possible Howie trades Jalen Hurts by the trade deadline and start to rebuild on offense. That's Howie Roseman's MO. He made good deals, and he continues to make the Philadelphia Eagles a better, stronger team. Sometimes it doesn't work out perfectly, but he follows up and then eventually gets it right through the draft, free agency, and so on and so forth. Like I said, he doesn't get attached to any players. It doesn't matter what the position is. It's a difference, right? It's a difference in just winning games and have a trending hot streak, right? Trending for 2 seasons and being a winner, making everyone happy. But when you're not necessarily winning, right? All of the time, You know, how are you operating? How does that? I've been thinking about that, guys. A winner versus a franchise quarterback. Because Tom Brady, he had a few losing seasons. He had a few seasons where he was down and out, right? You get injured and things like that. But overall, you understood that Tom Brady would eventually win, right? I don't know if we felt like he was going to win the Super Bowl all the time, but you felt comfortable. You felt good each season, each game when Tom Brady was the quarterback. I don't know if we get that feeling with Jalen Hurts. And that's what I want to see Jalen Hurts change this season. I want to see Jalen Hurts make more people a believer. Stop the critics from criticizing his style of play and show that he can be a franchise quarterback for years and years and years. I don't know. I think this is 7th or 8th season. 8 more seasons and be on the top of his game and continue to win. Maybe not win as many Super Bowls. We got one, lost one. But yeah, is he a franchise quarterback or is he just a unique winning type of quarterback? I don't know. I'm a Jalen Hurts fan. I think he's a winner. I don't think he's the typical type of quarterback that the NFL is that they cater to. So that's the problem. And he's a very strong guy. So we'll see, man. We're going to see how this pans out with Jalen Hurts. But Howie Roseman, man, he's always looking to make a deal. So nobody's safe. Nobody's safe when it comes to Philadelphia Eagles. All right, the battle in Cleveland, the Cleveland Browns, man, and it doesn't stop, man. The battle in Cleveland, man, it continues. Deshaun Watson, man, he has some issues coming up, and he has something he has to face. Deshaun Watson has to face his fans, man. He has to face the fans he disappointed horribly in Cleveland for this upcoming game against the Buffalo Bills. And then we all are curious to see how the home team fan base receives his presence once he hits the field. How do they receive Deshaun Watson? Is it instantly booing him? Is it mixed reviews? Some people booing, some people clapping. I don't see what many people have to clap for, but Deshaun Watson says he doesn't care what kind of reaction he'll get from Browns fans. And that's where the issue becomes a problem. Because not only did he make that comment and it was received incorrectly, I don't care how mentally tough you think you are. Getting booed by the home crowd is mentally challenging to anyone. Right? And I think his comments might have made things a little worse. But check it out. Deshaun Watson on his reception he'll get from the Browns fan base. And he says, I don't care. And he said a few other things, right? But it wasn't just blatantly, I don't care. And it wasn't that type of tone. So I don't want us to, take this out of context, right? But getting booed by 80,000 people isn't a good feeling at all. Like I said, who you are, I don't care who you are. And Deshaun Watson, he can act like he doesn't care, but it will affect him. It will have an effect on his mental. How much? That's on the man that's dealing with the issue. Now, on the other hand, if Deshaun Watson can turn that negative energy into positive energy, everything will be fine, man. Everything will go back to normal. That's the good thing about life. You have second chances and opportunities to correct your wrongs. Right? You have a chance to Deshaun Watson still has the opportunity to make Cleveland fan base love him and still want him to be around. Easier said than done when it comes to Deshaun Watson, though, of course, because we've seen in the past him try to come back and try to get around. I don't know. It may be karma. Who knows what's going on? Because I just don't see how you fall off like that and can't figure out how to make the correct read, anticipate throws, throw a spiral, get the football down the field. I just don't see how quarterbacks forget to do that stuff. Maybe he's just been removed away from the game so long, right? Now, we don't expect Deshaun Watson to play much at all, in this game. And like I said before, I think Todd Monken is trying to protect Deshaun Watson as much as he can from making anything worse than they already are. Maybe he gets 2 or 3 series, maybe 1 series, if that. But the objective is to protect Deshaun Watson. And who wants their home crowd with all that negative energy in one game, booing and carrying on, right? And I think Todd Monken understands what he's going to get from Deshaun Watson when he's at quarterback. There's no secret. I think Todd Monken is looking at Deshaun Watson as a guy who can get him through the season, a guy that won't have his offense looking so bad and get him through the season. That's it. I don't think it's nothing further than that. Just execute. We're not asking you to do too many things special, and just get us through the season. Now, Shedeur, on the other hand, Shedeur is making the decision complicated for Todd Monken because Todd Monken wants to feel a certain level of confidence when Shedeur is at the signal caller, right? Because he's a young quarterback and obviously has a lot of room to grow. So it feels like Todd Monken is leaning towards Deshaun Watson to be the starter. I'm not so sure, I'm not so sure. It's kind of hard to read, but it kind of feels that way. And it's only because of a certain level of confidence or a certain comfort level that Deshaun Watson gives Todd Monken with his experience and, of course, the money. Don't listen to Andrew Berry talk about the starting quarterback position has nothing to do with money. That's BS. That's baloney. That's all of the above. Because of course the money has a lot to do with decision. Because if it didn't, Deshaun Watson wouldn't be around if the money didn't matter. Am I right? Would Deshaun Watson be around if the money didn't matter? And the fact that Todd Monken didn't make a decision as the starter yet, it only tells me one thing. That only tells me Shedeur has an opportunity of a lifetime. Why don't you make a decision as the starting quarterback when a quarterback is there making $40 million, been around for a while, and then you have a 5th-round quarterback, a quarterback drafted in the 5th round competing against this guy? What is so hard about the decision, right? Now, this on paper thing again. We're talking about on paper. Shedeur Sanders is making things complicated for Todd Monken. That is the issue. Shedeur can win this job if he goes out there against the Buffalo Bills and put on a good performance, a nice performance. Shedeur can easily win this job because I'm telling you, Todd Monken is pushing for Shedeur. Now, there can't be no excuses. We can't talk about he was playing with the 3rd stringers, 2nd stringers. He didn't have the same players out there as Deshaun Watson. That doesn't matter. None of those things matter. Execute, figure it out with what you got. That's the nature of the NFL. Who's ever out on the field with Shedeur Sanders, he has to make it happen. He still has to go out there and play a good game. Anticipate throws. Speed up the operation. Get the football out of his hands in a timely manner. Avoid negative plays, regardless of who's out there. And Shedeur can win his job. I'm telling you, man. If he do all of those things, mark my word, Shedeur is going to be the starter. Now, I said too that no matter what, it's hard for Todd Monken would be hard for Todd Monken to name Shedeur the starter. I've said that. But for it to go this long, I don't see you can confuse your team. You can withdraw confidence from your team, from the players. Because I know some players want to see Deshaun Watson as a starter. Some players want to see Shedeur Sanders as a starter. And when you ultimately finally make that decision, you might have split feelings with your team. That might not sit well with everyone because it's been dragging out so long. But if Shedeur goes out there and plays convincingly to the point the majority of people feel like Shedeur earned the right to start, that automatically is going to put a lot of pressure on Todd Monken to start Shedeur based on what we've seen from Deshaun Watson. And then you got to think about the pressure from the fan base. That would be super hard to ignore. And we all know once Shedeur starts clicking and he has that game, that undeniable game, whether it's now or sometime during the season, that pressure from the fan base, Shedeur is going to be Shedeur's job to lose. That's the only thing I can imagine. It would be bad for Todd Monken if his team felt like he already knew who the starter would be. And that competition that he created in our mind and told us every day on the podium wasn't real, that would be horrible. So in my mind, I don't think Todd Monken can afford to play these type of games. Now, if he chooses to start Deshaun Watson and Shedeur has a really good game, man, the dog pound isn't going for that. They ain't going for it. They aren't going for it. But I expect Shedeur Sanders to go out there against the Buffalo Bills and have a game of his life. The game of the best game of his NFL career. Practice is looking more crisp. Practice is looking more efficient. Yes, he's going to have some bad plays. And I even seen Deshaun Watson. Deshaun Watson made a nice deep pass, and I think it was cover 2, cover 5 in the middle. Right in the middle hole. So they're both making plays. Deshaun Watson still, he just takes a few steps backwards from time to time, which we're not used to seeing from him. But we'll see, man. But you put Deshaun Watson on that field, man, and man, the dog pound is going to let it rip. They're going to let it rip. It's something that Deshaun Watson has to eventually get over with, whether it's now or during the season. Something they have to eventually get over with and see how they can handle it, and if it's if they can stand it, right? Because if you can't, if it's too much, if it's continue to linger on, Todd Monken has a unique situation on his hands, and he has to figure this out. And time is getting more critical and more critical. But after this game on Saturday, Monday, Todd Monken needs to name a starter, right? He should be named a starter Monday. So we'll see, man. Saturday night, fingers crossed, Shedeur goes out there and plays like the number 1 first-round pick that he was supposed to be. And, give us something exciting to talk about and give us something exciting to watch. We're rooting for him. And also everybody else. It's not just Shedeur. It's a lot of other players we want to see. All right, man. How y'all feel out there, man? How we feeling, man? All quarterbacks have bad plays. Yeah, man. That's just the way it goes. It's about having more positive, more good plays, a lot more good plays than your bad plays. And do your good plays outweigh your bad plays? Yep. That's what it's about. All right, now we got the New England Patriots. A.J. Brown, man. They're having joint practice against the Philadelphia Eagles. And there's some good battling going on, some good football, like I said. This is another team, well-coached team. Both teams are pretty well-coached. And they have some pretty good players. A.J. Brown has been giving the Eagles defense a hard time in the red zone in these joint practices. In the red zone, specifically. And the red zone is is a unique part of the field. Let's just say that. Yeah, AJ Brown is definitely, he can have a lot of success in the red zone, and I expect him to have a lot of success in the red zone. And don't get it twisted. When y'all see me talking trash about and giving y'all see me giving AJ Brown a hard time, don't forget that I picked the New England Patriots to go back to the Super Bowl. So obviously, AJ Brown has to produce at some point, right? Somewhat. But when I'm critical of AJ Brown, I'm critical of the coaching staff and what it took to get AJ Brown, and that was a late first round pick. Was he worth it? Only time will tell. Will AJ Brown be more productive of a receiver than Stephon Diggs was when Stephon Diggs was with the New England Patriots? I believe so. Will AJ Brown start his shenanigans when things aren't going his way and he feels Drake May needs to pass him the football and he's not getting the football? Will he start to spaz out? Will he start to be a distraction? That is the issue. And that's what I'm afraid of. Now, as far as him, being on that offense, getting down, Josh McDaniels, definitely. I believe in Josh McDaniels. He will be creative and he will make situations where AJ Brown can be productive and have success. Now, we want to take a look, man. We want to take a look. I want to take a look, and we want to see AJ Brown going at it. Him and Quinyon Mitchell, one-on-ones, right? Doing this joint practice. Good versus good. Now, what sticks out to me most in this clip is AJ Brown pressing to get the top speed. And that's a good thing. Because wide receivers want to conserve their energy because that's all they do. They're out there running routes all day long, right? And if I'm being super critical of AJ Brown, he needs to catch this football. Of course, this training camp, but obviously we want to practice how we play, and we want to perfect things. So this is AJ Brown and Quinyon Mitchell going at it. Woo. See, I want y'all to pay attention, and I want you to pay attention and watch AJ Brown press. He put that head down kind of like in his drive phase to try to gain speed. You don't really see that much from AJ Brown, man, but he's putting all the effort he can to try to break away and separate from the cornerback, which is a good thing. You want to see that. So let's check it out again. Press. Got to stack him. Good on good right there. That was a good rep. Good rep by both players. I want to show another clip. Here we go. Now you got to catch that, right? But the cornerback is doing a good job of preventing the AJ Brown from able to use his right hand and forcing him to have to make a tough catch, which is a one-hand catch. And that is what we're taught as cornerbacks. If you can't get the ball, force him to make a tough catch. And I think this is a good play by both players. But at the end of the day, AJ Brown has to come down with this play. It's a good pass, really good pass. AJ Brown used really good body control to shield himself and the ball from Quinyon Mitchell. Now, if AJ Brown can give this much effort, which is 90%, 95%, give this much effort 95% of the time when he's out, when he's on the football field running his routes, he can still be a top receiver in the NFL, in my opinion. That's the problem. Giving this much effort 95% of the time is the problem for some players, especially when, I don't know, you're going through things like AJ Brown and you feel like you're not getting the ball when you're supposed to. When AJ Brown isn't sure the football is coming his way, he might take a playoff or two. That's not what football is about. That's what we've seen in the past from AJ Brown. Him taking off a play or two, maybe he's frustrated, maybe because he thought the ball wasn't coming his way, but that's unacceptable. And if this was live game action, AJ Brown would have to hear my mouth about dropping that pass. That's another pass. That's the pass you got to make in the game. But it's just training camp, so we're not gonna go too hard today, And I tell you one thing, right? He doesn't seem like he's that type of guy who really accepts accountability, man. And he seems like typical receiver energy. Typical receiver energy, But maybe a new regime in this new environment in New England gives AJ Brown the juice he needs so he can be a top player again and give the effort that he needs to succeed. So my Super Bowl pick, man, the New England Patriots, they're still out there, man. They're still up there. We're gonna see, man. I don't know, y'all. What are y'all predictions for the Super Bowl this season? I know everyone likes to talk about their favorite team. I don't like to pick favorite teams. You can have your favorite team and your team you ride with, but I want to know what you see and why you picking certain teams, not just because it's your favorite team. Do you think this team has the ability, the players, the coaching staff, all of the above, you know what I mean, to make it to the Super Bowl? That is the question, you know what I mean? Y'all, my dog just called real quick. We on the ones and twos. I'm gonna hit him back. So yeah, man. But yeah, I got a repeat coming along, Super Bowl, New England Patriots versus the Seattle Seahawks. Yeah. But my surprise team, man, the Oakland Raiders, man. The Oakland Raiders, Black Hole is back. The Black Hole is back. Let me just go through the chat, man, and see what we're talking about here. Let me try to start from, I don't know where we're going to start from. Let me see what we got here. Say Jerry Jeudy is the number 2 receiver. I see that for sure. Let's see. Let's pick one. He says he's probably the best number 2 receiver in the NFL. Jeudy is. What about, what do you compare A.J. Brown to Jerry Jeudy? Are they on the same level? Or does A.J. Brown run a circle around Jerry Jeudy? I guess when it comes to hands and not dropping the ball, you're going to depend on A.J. Brown a lot more than you would on Jerry Jeudy. But okay, let's have a minute, right? Let's talk about Jerry Jeudy. Jerry Jeudy is a Florida boy as well. Now, on the nightcap, I think they're actually being nice, giving Jerry Jeudy that number 2 title. I think he was once a number 2 receiver. I don't even think he ever was a number 1 receiver, to be honest. Coming out of college, he had the abilities, the potential, and the talent to be a number 1 receiver, but I don't think he was actually fit and the actual player to be a number 1 receiver. You understand what I'm trying to say? I think he came in the NFL as a solid number 2 receiver. Now he's working his way down to maybe a number 3 receiver. Because think about it. If you put Jerry Jeudy on the same team as a JSN or Jamar Chase, the production and the play is going to be a lot different. The levels, the level and the outcome of things is going to be a huge difference, right? So you take T. Higgins and Jamar Chase. Can Jerry Jeudy stand up and be the player that T. Higgins is, right? Now, some people would say T. Higgins is a number 1 receiver on a lot of teams. I probably disagree, right? I don't see T. Higgins as a number 1 receiver, based on a few things, and I don't want to get into that. But Jerry Jeudy, I think on the nightcap, they're being a little too friendly, being too nice. We get caught up in that sometimes because, we're critical and we're negative most of the times because we have to be critical of situations, and that's mainly what we do. But I don't know if he's a number 2 receiver anymore. Jerry Jeudy may have worked his way down to a number 3 receiver for my team. And then you could name multiple teams that I just don't see him working out. Teams, coaches probably wouldn't even put up with with him, what he got going on out there. He has the ability, he has the talent, But it takes more than the talent and ability and hard work, right? It's I don't know. It, I don't know, man. I don't know. Because I fix your mistakes, fix your problems, work on it. And I know he has, and maybe he just has some hand-eye coordination sometimes that interferes with him when it's time to catch the football. But number 3 receiver in my eyes, man. He got to work his way back up to number 2. But that was Thursday Night Vibes, man. I enjoyed the night with y'all, man. And yeah, I'm excited to see what Las Vegas Raiders are going to do and how they're going to affect the AFC West, Denver Broncos, Kansas City Chiefs, the Los Angeles Chargers. And then you got the Las Vegas Raiders, baby. They are back. So we're going to see y'all Saturday night, man. We're going to see y'all after the game. Hopefully Shador balls out. He's named the starter coming Monday because Todd Monken needs to hurry up and make a decision. And his time is running out. Salute to y'all. It's your boy Asante, Mr. Pick 6. This was Thursday Night Vibes. I hope y'all enjoyed tonight. I enjoyed y'all. And we're going to see y'all next time.